Imagine being so dangerous to your own health that no insurance company on the planet will even pick up the phone when your name is mentioned. Seriously, we're talking about a man who is technically uninsurable by every major firm in the world. You've seen him jump from skyscrapers, slide down light poles, and take punches from literal giants. But behind the movie magic lies a medical record that would make a trauma surgeon faint. We all know and love the legendary Jackie Chan, but have you ever stopped to wonder how he's still standing? Or better yet, why the internet keeps trying to convince us that he's already gone? Every few years, like clockwork, a viral rumor explodes across social media, claiming that the king of action has finally met his end during a stunt gone horribly wrong. It's wild, right? But when you look at the risks he takes, you can almost see why people are so quick to believe the worst. Jackie doesn't just get bruised, he breaks. We're talking about a guy who has sustained a sheer volume of injuries that sounds more like a war report than a filmography. From a cracked skull and a broken jaw to smashed toes and dislocated shoulders, his body is a living map of cinematic history. He's broken his nose 3 times, injured his knees so often he can barely crouch, and yet he manages to keep smiling through the absolute agony. But let's talk about the moment that almost truly ended it all. It wasn't a massive fight scene or a jump from a high-altitude plane. It happened in Yugoslavia during the filming of Armor of God. It was a simple jump to a tree branch. Simple for Jackie, anyway, but the branch snapped and he fell 5 meters straight down, landing headfirst on the rocks below. That wasn't just a bump, it was a life-altering disaster that resulted in a brain hemorrhage and nearly cost him everything. It makes you wonder, is Jackie Chan actually some kind of superhuman, or is he just the most reckless man in Hollywood history? Maybe a bit of both. Rumors say that he lives with permanent physical changes that he carefully hides from the cameras whenever he's promoting his latest blockbuster. There are hidden medical details that would shock even his most die-hard fans. Because of this, production companies have had to get incredibly creative over the decades. Since no standard insurance firm will touch him, they've had to essentially create their own Jackie Chan insurance just to get his movies made. The man is a walking liability, and yet he's also the most valuable asset on any film set. But what's the mental toll of being the man who simply cannot say no to a dangerous stunt? Even when his life is dangling by a thread, Jackie pushes forward. He's obsessed with perfection, even if the price is his own blood. And speaking of price, let's talk about the literal hole in his head. Yes, you heard that right. After that terrifying fall in Yugoslavia, Jackie was left with a permanent hole in his skull, now covered by a plastic plug and a metal plate. Some people say it changed his personality and his physical capabilities forever. It's a constant reminder of how close he came to the edge. Recently, there's been a lot of talk and controversy about whether he really does every single thing himself anymore. As he's gotten older, the whispers about him using stunt doubles have started to grow louder. Is it true? Or is it just another way for critics to try and humanize a legend who seems to be made of steel? Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments where you are watching from. There is so much more to uncover about the man behind the bruises, and believe me, you haven't heard the half of it yet. What happens when the world's most fearless performer realizes his body might finally be saying enough? We are just getting started with this incredible journey into the myth and reality of a legend. Imagine a young boy, barely 7 years old, being left by his parents at the Peking Opera School in Hong Kong. This wasn't some soft extracurricular activity. It was a 10-year contract of absolute discipline and physical endurance. Master Yu Jim Yuen ran the school with an iron fist, where training lasted 19 hours a day. If you missed a landing, you didn't get a bandage. You got a lecture or a strike from a bamboo cane. This is where the man behind the bruises was truly forged. It wasn't just about learning acrobatics. It was about learning how to exist in a state of constant physical demand. By the time Jackie left, his body was already hardened to pain that would make most adults quit. This brutal foundation is the secret to his survival. He didn't just learn how to fall, he learned how to endure, but even with that elite training, the movie industry didn't know what to do with him at first. After the tragic death of Bruce Lee, the world was desperate for a successor. Producers tried to force Jackie into that stoic, invincible warrior mold, but he was drowning in Bruce's shadow. He realized he couldn't be the next Bruce Lee because he was something entirely different. A comedic punching bag who never gives up. Instead of being the untouchable hero, he became the underdog who feels every punch, trips over his own feet, and yet finds a way to win. This pivot changed everything. He turned his pain into comedy, making the audience laugh while they winced at the impact. This led to the no stunt double brand, which became his greatest marketing tool and, ironically, his heaviest curse. Fans began to expect more blood and more danger with every single release. If Jackie wasn't almost dying on screen, was it even a Jackie Chan movie? The pressure to top himself was immense. Then came the Hollywood culture shock. Moving from the anything goes sets of Hong Kong to the strictly regulated environments of the United States was a massive adjustment. In Hollywood, there were lawyers, safety coordinators, and endless red tape designed to prevent exactly what Jackie lived for. On the sets of Rush Hour, and his co-star Chris Tucker was often left speechless. Imagine being a high-energy comedian used to standard movie sets, only to see Jackie casually suggest a stunt that could end the production permanently. Chris reportedly couldn't believe his eyes. Watching Jackie treat life-threatening situations like just another Tuesday at the office. But how does a man keep this up for decades? Behind the scenes, there's a secret recovery process that most people never see. While rumors swirl about experimental treatments or high-tech secret surgeries, a lot of it comes down to a mix of traditional Chinese medicine and pure, unadulterated willpower. He has spent his life bouncing back from things that would put a normal person in a wheelchair for life. He's supported by his legendary Singa band, the Jackie Chan stunt team. This isn't just a crew, it's a brotherhood bound by a blood pact. These men are fiercely loyal, often taking the hits that Jackie can't, and in return, he treats them like family. They are the silent pillars behind his legend. The only ones crazy enough to follow him into the fire. Despite the smiles and the high-flying kicks, the physical toll of 50 years of trauma is real. There is gossip that some mornings, the legend can't even stand up straight without help, his joints stiff from 100 old fractures. He's had to face the reality of his own mortality more times than anyone should. Did he ever get scared? Absolutely. Jackie has admitted that before some of his most famous jumps, he sat on the ledge crying, paralyzed by the fear of what was about to happen. But the camera demands a hero, and he always delivers. The way he views his body is fundamentally different from how we view ours. To him, a broken bone is just a temporary tax he has to pay to the god of cinema. But as the years go by, the tax is getting higher. We see the polished results on the big screen, but we don't see the ice packs, the sleepless nights, or the specialized physical therapy sessions that keep him functional. There is a deep, hidden world of struggle that he keeps behind closed doors to maintain the myth of the man who can't be stopped. It's a performance that never ends, even when the director yells, "Cut." Every time he limps away from a scene, he's proving that his spirit is far more durable than his skeleton. It makes you wonder, is our collective fascination with his injuries a bit morbid? We sit in theaters waiting for the blooper reels to see him get hurt, almost like we're addicted to his near-death experiences. We've turned his suffering into our entertainment, blurring the line between the invincible icon and the fragile human being who just wants to make us proud. What happens when the stunts get too big for a body that has already given its all? Is there a point where even the strongest can't overcome the damage? The mystery of how he continues to defy medical science only grows deeper as we look closer at the specific disasters that should have ended his story years ago. To understand the physical debt Jackie has paid, we must dive into the anatomy of disaster. While he has broken almost every bone, 5 injuries stand out. First is his spine. During the mall slide and police story, he didn't just burn his palms on those hot decorative lights. The impact shattered 2 vertebrae and dislocated his pelvis. He was inches away from paralysis. Then, the eye injury in Drunken Master. A kick broke his brow ridge so badly he nearly lost his sight. Imagine a world where the master of comedy couldn't see his own stunts. These aren't just bruises, they are permanent changes to his physical existence. The Yugoslavian nightmare on the Armor of God set was even grimmer. When that branch snapped, it was a death sentence. As Jackie hit the rocks, a shard of skull was driven into his brain. Blood leaked from his ear, a sign of a hemorrhage. He was dying. He survived only because of a miracle of timing. A world-class Swiss brain surgeon happened to be in the country for a lecture. If that doctor hadn't performed emergency surgery on a remote operating table, the legend would have ended in 1986. Today, he lives with a permanent hole in his head, covered by a plastic plug. You can actually feel the indentation if you're brave enough to get close. It is a constant reminder that he is part machine and part miracle, walking among us while defying every law of medicine. This event cemented his uninsurable status forever. Naturally, the internet is full of theories about a man who survives the impossible. Fan forums buzz with the death wish theory, suggesting Jackie has a subconscious need to push until he breaks. Others claim the modern Jackie is a product of CGI and doubles to hide his decline. Yet Jackie always shuts them down. Every time a death hoax goes viral, he appears on a talk show, looking agile and mocking his own fragility. On TikTok and YouTube, a new generation is discovering his blooper reels with pure horror. They see a man falling 40 feet, landing on his neck, and doing it again because the first take wasn't perfect. It's a level of commitment that feels completely alien in our modern, safety-regulated movie world. We watch these clips with a mix of awe and genuine concern for his sanity, wondering why anyone would risk it all. But will he ever actually stop? Industry whispers are getting louder. Some say doctors have finally staged an intervention, warning that one more fall could be his last. There's speculation about whether he's preparing for a graceful exit, or if he'll keep going until he literally can't move. Will he retire and enjoy a life without bruises, or die on a movie set with cameras rolling? It is a chilling thought. His legacy is already written in blood. Every modern stunt performer, from Marvel to John Wick, owes a debt to Jackie and his Singa band. He proved that audiences crave the visceral and the real. He didn't just make movies, he redefined what a human body is capable of enduring for art. He is the gold standard for physical performance that will likely never be matched. So was the fame worth the damage? Imagine waking up with a body that is a map of 1,000 old wars. Every joint aches, and every fracture reminds you of a split second in the past. Would you trade your health for a spot in history? Jackie thinks it was a fair bargain. When you see him today, he still has that iconic infectious smile. He's a living testament to endurance, proving that while bones break, a true spirit is unbreakable. The legend is still going strong, showing us that even at 70, he is more alive than most of us will ever be. He didn't just survive, he conquered the very concept of physical limits. What a truly incredible journey it has been.